Hi, I am William Halm. So many people have called me and asked me, William, how much does it cost to get the service of an architect? Architects can be very expensive. So today we want to talk about the architect and his fees. You know, it is said that education is expensive, but if you think so, try ignorance. Doing a project without your architect is actually more expensive. You make mistakes on site, you correct it, the cost of the mistake, the cost of demolition and making corrections, and the cost of recorrecting itself is expensive. However, if your architect made all these things on paper, it costs you nothing. And also, if you look at your architect's fees, it's actually a small fraction of your project cost. Many of us are looking at the cost of the design fees, the cost of the architect, when we should be looking at the cost of the project. When your architect comes in, he helps you to bring your project cost down. Now, if you can appreciate that construction cost is way bigger than the consultancy cost, then you would appreciate that to pay for a consultancy fee to make your design more cost effective, to make your design get more value for what you are doing, you would appreciate that the architect is actually a better option. So today we want to discuss generally 3 types of architect's fees. The first type is the percentage fees. As architects, we charge a percentage of the total cost of your project. Now, using percentage fees, the architect tries to estimate how much the whole project will cost, and based on that, he charges a percentage. He can even go further and charge a percentage to include all-in consultancy fee. Now, when we talk about all-in consultancy, we are talking about the services of an architect, the services of a structural engineer, the service of a building services consultant, and the service of a cost consultant. Now, when this team comes together, they help you to get value for money. They look at the best solution. They look at the best cost-effective way of doing the project. Another way or another type of architect's fee is what we call the lump sum fees. And the lump sum fees, the architect, based on your project, decides on a lump sum. And perhaps you may even negotiate with your architect. And based on the lump sum, you come to an agreement. Now, the lump sum can be only for design, it could be for supervision, it could be from design all the way to completion. And finally, we look at the time-based fees. Now, a lot of international organizations sometimes even prefer the time-based fees because the architect looks at the scope of the project and begins to anticipate all the work that will be done within the scope of the project. And then he begins to itemize the time that each member in his team will be needing to do the work. So, for example, in a firm, you may have a principal architect, you may have a junior architect, you may have a CAD technician, you may even have a structural engineer. And so the lead consultant or the architect would try and estimate how much time, what we usually call man hours, each person will put into the project. And then based on that, we'll come up with a comprehensive cost. You know, remember, always use your consultant for value for money. Never run away from your consultant. Otherwise, like the saying goes, ignorance is more expensive than knowledge. So always remember to use your architect for your project. See you later. Bye.